Hey guys, it's Jo here. Welcome back to my channel, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the books I read in July and August. I'm just telling you this right now, it was not a lot of books, and I was hoping it was going to be more, but it was not. So with that, I'm going to be getting into the video. The first book I read in July was Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas. This was probably, I'm not going to say this a lot, but probably my least favorite book of the series. It's not like the worst, but it's not the best. I feel like this is a medium book in the series. Like, I loved what happened in it, but I wasn't excited about it as I was in the other books. And currently I'm reading Kingdom of Ash, so I have yet to actually finish the series. But this took me a while to get through because clearly this was a lot of pages. And if you give me 1 second, I can figure out how many pages this exactly was. This was actually 645 pages, and I don't really know how long it took me to read this, but it took me quite a while. I kind of dreaded reading it. I started it, but then I didn't like completely go through with it. So it took me a while to read this because I just couldn't sit down and read it. I still think I rated this a 5 out of 5 because the story was amazing. It just took me a while to actually get into it. Because at the beginning, I really did not like Chaol. I literally was reading it and I'm like, he is being so rude. I don't like him. He just needs to stop acting this way. Like, he loved Elaine and she left and he knew that he loved Elaine, and he also knew that she was going to change when she was gone. So I don't like the fact of how he acted when she got back. That was really the part that I just didn't really want to read about, because it just made me so angry. So I think that's why it took me just so long to read it. The last book I read in July was Empire Stories by Sarah J Maas, and you guys, I absolutely adored this book. I read this book so fast. It's a lot of pages. It doesn't look like it, but they're like super thin pages. You guys, I am absolutely obsessed with the story after this book, and I was very frustrated that Kingdom of Ashes was not after this book. Then came Tower of Dawn, which I did read, but I finished that in August, so I will get to that. But back to my thoughts on this. This book was so amazing, and it just had my emotions going crazy with all of the characters and the relationships, especially between Elaine and Rowan. At the end, I'm not going to tell you what happened because that would lead to a lot of angry people. But at the end of the relationship, I just wanted to cry about it, and I won't tell you why, because crying about it could either mean I'm sad, I'm super happy, or I'm most likely between the two, because that's pretty much how these books go. The ending of this absolutely left me shook. I rated this a 5 out of 5 because this book was absolutely amazing so far. It is probably my favorite book in the series. Like I said in the last part of this video, I have not finished Kingdom of Ash. That is my first book I want to finish in September. But yes, so I love this book. The characters in it were amazing, and I will probably, actually I'm not going to say probably because I don't know. I want to do a full series review, but I read Throne of Glass, I think last December. It was either last December or in January, so I'm not sure if I want to do that or not, but I might plan on it because the series was so, I was so involved in the series, so we'll have to wait, I guess, to see if I do that. Now going into August. At the beginning of August, I had started and finished Tower of Dawn. You guys, starting off with this book, I absolutely hated Chaol because of the things that happened in the last book. But eventually, the one thing that drove me crazy about this book is that the more I read, the more I started to like Chaol again. And I definitely didn't want to like Chaol because of the things that he's done in the past 2 books. But it happened, and I was actually very intrigued with this point of view and everything that happened. I did really miss the main characters that we saw in the first 5 or the 5 books before this, because I'm like 98% sure this is a 6th book out of 7. But you guys, I did enjoy the new characters. I was super excited when people got together with certain people, and the outcome of this book was absolutely amazing, and I think I rated this a 5 out of 5, but I'm not sure because at one point I almost rated it a 4 out of 5 because just the fact that it was about Chaol in the beginning and his feelings just made me so angry. But I think I rated this a 5 out of 5, but I will put on the screen how much I rated it. Like I said, I do really like the new characters. Like, I think you say Urine and then like Sartok. I don't really know how to say their names because obviously it's a Sarah J Maas book and they literally have not the weirdest names but the most hardest pronounced names ever. Well, not all of them, most of them. Like Kale, I don't know if I've told you guys this story, but one of my friends that read this book called him Chol, and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. I'm like, actually, I'm not gonna say her name. I'm like, I'll say friend. Friend. It's literally Kale, not Chol. And she literally laughed so hard with how much she like felt so stupid. Love her to death, and she's not stupid. She just pronounces things different than I do. This was definitely not my favorite book of the series, which I think I've told you guys that. I don't know. I will tell you guys by the end of the series which book is probably my favorite. It's probably going to end up being Kingdom of Ash. But right now, I think it's either at Empire, Storms, or Air, Fire. Compared to the rest of the series, I did not like the first and second book compared to the rest of them. Like, they were good books. Like, I will not deny that. I was so interested after the first Throne of Glass book. I was like, okay, I'm going to read the series. But it totally took a different turn than what I was expecting and kind of grew into something better. If that makes any sense, which it probably doesn't, but that is okay. The next 3 books were all ebooks, and I wrote them all down on paper so I didn't, like, forget their names as I was saying it. So it starts with The Two Princes of Summer, Prisoner of Darkness, and Whims of Fate. I finished all of those in August, and I absolutely loved them. They are by Nessa Letter, if that's how you pronounce her name. I'm not 100% sure if that's how you pronounce it. This series I loved a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. And the rest of the series is actually my TBR for September. I read these books these books faster than I thought I was going to read them. I probably read these 3 books in a span of like a week or 2. So hopefully the rest of the series I'll be able to just crank out. And I did another video on my book schedule. Now, I explained it, so I'm not going to re-explain it. But I absolutely loved these books. I mean, to me, this is not at all in a bad way, but these books kind of seem like amateur writing. Like, this kind of seems like the writing I noticed was the main character asked a lot of questions in her head, which I realized I did that when I was a freshman, and I changed that because I was like, why is my character asking so many questions they don't need to ask? That's kind of like how this character, like her main character Scarlet, did it. But I think it's okay because the first book was kind of like a medium book. Like, I think I rated it a 4 out of 5. I'm not 100% sure. But the second and third book I did enjoy a lot more because of the new characters that came into it, and it seemed like her writing had progressed. So maybe it was the first book syndrome where her writing wasn't at the best that it could be, and then it grew into more, which totally happens all the time. So I'm not saying that she's a horrible writer. I think her writing just totally like escalated greatly. What I noticed about this book series is that they actually reminded me a lot of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I want to do a book talk about these books because I did enjoy them, but I did have a couple of things I wanted to talk about. So I will most likely be doing book talks about those. So I'll be prepared to see those sooner or later, so I'm not going to share many things about it. But yeah, these books were really good, and I think the first Two Princes of Summer I rated a 5 out of 5, and then God, I don't remember the second and third books. Let me just look it up real quick. Prisoner of Darkness and Whims of Fate. 100% I rated The Prisoner of Darkness 5 out of 5. I really love this book. And The Whims of Fate I probably rated either a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. Like I said, her writing has been progressing and getting better and getting me more interested. I have been seeing relations between this book and A Court of Thorns and Roses a lot, but I think in different ways they are very like different from that series. And so I'm wondering if honestly I just keep thinking that because I read ACOTAR first. So I probably wouldn't have thought that if I read this book series first and then read ACOTAR. So maybe it's just the fact that Sarah J Maas is literally imprinted in my head so much that I literally think that. So sorry, Nessa Letter. That's just what I think. Like I said, I think they're good books and you guys should definitely read them. So that's the conclusion to my July and August book wrap up. Comment down below what books you read in these 2 months. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I will see you next time, guys. Bye.